Okay, once again, welcome everyone. Glad you could join us. Our guest this evening is Wally Stefanov, LZ2 Charlie Japan. I asked Wally to do this, I don't know if it was a month and a half back or somewhere along that time. You may recall there was a lot of discussion on the contest reflector about new rules changes for CQ Worldwide and a lot of uproar about the rules changes. And amongst all the posts to the reflector was one or two postings from Wally with pictures and descriptions of a lot of the work that was being done at the Lima Zulu 9 Whiskey contest station. And I thought, wow, look at that. Someone's actually working on antennas and towers, and rather than arguing over the rules for the contest, most of which don't even affect them. So I was kind of inspired to see all that work, and when I asked Wally if he would do a presentation, he said absolutely, and we're glad to have him with us this evening. Wally fell in love with amateur radio back in 1975. He obtained his Class C certificate in 1976 and his Class A in the following years. Before obtaining his license as LZ2CJ in 1982, he used to operate from club station Lima Zulu 1 Kilo Alpha Alpha until 1978, and from 1978 to 1982 from the City Students Radio Club in Sofia as Lima Zulu 1 Kilo Delta Papa, very familiar call for many of us. His favorite bands have always been 80 and 160. He confirmed 100 countries on top band within a 12-month period at a time when half of European countries were not allowed to operate on top band at all, and that includes ON4UN. Wally made the first ever LZ to US, LZ to JA, LZ to VK, and LZ to ZL top band QSOs. His contesting Elmer was Lou K4 Victor X-Ray, and that was done over the radio, of course, in those years. Wally started contesting while at LZ1 KDP and won first place World Single Op All Band SSB in IARU 1982. He continued in 1983 as LZ2 Charlie Japan, winning many times #1 Single Op Single Band 160 meter SSB Europe in CQ Worldwide. First place World Single Op Single Band 160 meter SSB in CQ Worldwide DX twice. In 1984, he set the European record, which stood for over 20 years. He also won first place World Single Op Single Band 160 meters in WPX SSB 1986 and CQ Worldwide 160 meter SSB 1986 and 1987. In 2002, Wally became involved in founding the now famous LZ9 Multi contest team, and he remains the chief operator at LZ9W on 160 meters, the Iron Man. Wally is married with 2 daughters. He started his dental education at the Medical Academy in Sofia. He also spent some time at Municipal Hospital in the Netherlands and as an invited scientist at the Medical University of Hanover and Cologne, Germany. He now has his own private practice. Wally is a member of the Bulgarian Dental Association, Bulgarian Society of Oral Implementology and Biomaterials, and he is an honorary member of the German Society for Dental Implementology. He has over 20 local and international publications and presentations in his profession. Very accomplished person, both professionally and in the amateur radio circles. So once again, if you have questions, you may submit them, text anytime during the presentation, but we will not answer them until the end. So Wally, thank you for joining us. Please go ahead. We're glad to have you here.
You hear me?
Yes, I hear you fine.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and thank you for your interest in LZ9 Whiskey multi contest team and station. And my thanks go to Ken, too, for contacting me and inviting me to make this webinar for PVRC. As seen from my professional CV, I have done numerous presentations and courses for dentists, but this is going to be my first presentation to a contester's audience. And this is going to be my first webinar ever, too. So I hope to have your understanding, and please be patient with me. After watching Doc's webinar about multi-giants in 1960s, 1980s, and especially what was done at these years at K2GL and W2 Papa Victor, I know there is nothing in my presentation which will knock you down. But anyway, I hope all of you who are online tonight will be interested to see what's behind the call LZ9 whiskey. Some of you used to work on most of or on all 6 bands during WPX or CQ Worldwide contests in the last 6 years. And before starting this presentation, I would like to thank my very good friend and contest teammate LZ9W, Danny, for helping me with the preparation of this webinar. So let's start. Something's wrong going on.
Yeah, click your mouse in the presentation. There you go.
I see. Okay. LZ9 whiskey is owned by Krasi Pavlov, LZ1 Zulu Delta, and station rooms are situated in the basement of his hotel called Berdato. Here's the entrance to the station with the operating positions on the right and sleeping rooms on the left. Entrance of the hotel with the lobby area and restaurant on the left and rooms on the upstairs. This is the lobby area of the hotel from the inside. You see the lobby bar, registration desk, lobby area with a small lecture hall on the left. This is how a regular room looks like. It has cable TV and absolutely free wireless internet access for the hotel guests. In the restaurant, you can have dishes which are typical for Bulgarian cuisine, with shopska salad being the favorite one all the foreigners who are visiting Bulgaria like very much. And there are dishes for everyone, prepared with a pork or lamb, depending on the tastes. And when you have a club station, a contest station, which is a part of such a hotel, the only thing you could care for only is to make as many as possible QSOs and any bands HI. During the summer, all the action is moved behind the hotel around the pool with an open-air bar and open-air restaurant. And if you visit the station during the June, July, or August, you can enjoy this pool, an open-air restaurant, and of course you can join, if you visit us for Yarrow or a Working All Europe CW contest in July or August, you can join the crowd around the pool too. Contesters are always welcome to visit us, but if you want to become a part of LZ9 Whiskey Multi team, we should request that you send your application, so to speak, your request to us well in advance. Excluding CW parts of WPX and CQ Worldwide contests, it is usually not a problem to get you in our team. And of course, everyone can visit us and just watch us operate in CW parts of WPX and CQ Worldwide contests. Operating on CW and any other contest, as ARRL or Yarrow, for example, is usually not a problem. And now let's start with some history. LZ9 Whiskey contest activity started with the start of new millennium in year 2000, when station has had only a X-Ray 7 tri-bander, HB9CV antenna on 40 meters, dipole on 80, and inverted V on 160 meters. What you see here is a sort of a horror movie type picture of our X-Ray 7 taken in the middle of a night by LZ1UQ during one of CQ Worldwide contests. And in the spring of 2009, Alex, LZ4 Alpha X-Ray, contacted Jim, WA3FET, and Jim was kind enough to design over monoband Yagis for us. Alex moved to USA in August 2001 and started operating from a Penn State University contest station, K3 Charlie Radio. But in spite of this, we still consider him a member of our team since he keeps helping us quite a bit. In September 2009, LZ1 Zulu Delta erected 3 new towers and put on them 6-element OVA on 20, 6 on 15, and 7-element OVA monoband on 10 meters. few more wire antennas were added, and in seasons 2001-2002, station took part in the contests in multi-single category. But since appetite comes with eating, you know, at the end of 2002, members decided to move in a group of the big boys, multi category of WPX and Secure Worldwide contests. And we needed a few more years to really grow up, but even with just 4 operating places in 2003, we took second place multi Europe and WPX SSB 2003. And within the next 2 months, we added some more hardware, and we were able to take first place Europe and second place world in WPX CW 2003. At this time, we used few ICOM radios, 721, 735, and 746, plus an ACOM 2000, 2 Alpha 91 betas, 2 TL922, and a homemade amplifier for 40 meters on pair of GU81s. So the conclusion of all this, after all this, is that it can be make faults, even with the modest radios and small amplifiers. You could be successful sometimes, HI. This is the contest room, the way it looked like back in 2003 with the 4 operating places. And this is the operating place with an ICOM 721 and Alpha 91 beta on 10 and 80 meters. LZ9 Whiskey QDH. As I said, station is in basement of the Hotel Berdato, and the hotel is located just outside the small town of Breznik, which is 50 kilometers away from capital Sofia and 20 kilometers away from region's main city, Pernik. And here you can see the exact location of LZ9 Whiskey on the map of Bulgaria. I'm in Pleven now, from where I'm presenting this webinar to you, and I travel approximately 180 kilometers from Pleven to the LZ9 Whiskey location. And the longest distance from Varna is traveled by our member LZ2UZ Christo. We have 2 members, LZ2GL and LZ2WO, who are living in the area of Knezha and Ratsa right here, and the rest of the contest team members are living either in Sofia, Pernik, or Breznik. If you have visited the website of our contest station, you have seen that we stated there that we have 2 treasures at LZ9 Whiskey. The first one being a contest team and members of that contest team, and the second one is location we have. The station is located right on the top of an 840 meters high hill, which is approximately 2,600 feet, and the hill is very steep. Beside that, all the main directions are clear many kilometers, many miles away, towards Japan, towards USA, Caribbean, and South America. And the only problematic geographic areas we have are Oceania and Africa, due to the foreground slope we have in that direction. Here's the aerial view of the station with direction shown. This is exactly north, Japan, USA, Caribbean, South America, Africa. As you can see, the towers which are carrying our 10 and 15 meter stacks right now are right on the edge of the hill, and same is valid for the tower on which we have our HB9CV. Due to the terrain, we also should say that terrain is also sloping for antennas which are part of our 20 meter stack, and same will be valid for a 4-element over monobender, which will be, if weather permits, installed on this new tower here, a 33.5 meters high tower. And it will be probably operational for Secure Worldwide SSB contest in the coming weekend. Here is the shot to USA. As you see, no any obstacles many kilometers away, many miles away. Same is the situation with a shot to Japan and with the shot to South America. And as I said, Oceania and Africa are more or less a problematic multiplier zones for us, geographic areas due to the foreground slope in that direction. But we hope with the new towers we put this summer and the top antennas on them, we could be able to work these difficult multipliers, more easily since this coming season. This is a sunset at LZ9 Whiskey. A very nice picture taken by Kazusan, JK3 Golf Alpha Delta, who was part of our team in a WPX-CW this summer. LZ9 Whiskey Towers. Currently we have 9 towers at the QTH, and the 10th and the largest one is planned to be up in 2010, and is planned to carry the 3-element rotary monobender for 80 meters. Here's again the aerial view of the station with the exact GPS data for each of the towers. As you can see here, the town of Breznik is located at 748 meters above sea level, and the height of the parking lot of the hotel is 831 meters above sea level. So the nivellation here is approximately 100 meters, approximately 330 feet of a very steep hill. Top antennas on our stacks on 10 and on 15 meters are approximately at the same height as separate antennas we have on these bands here. The 6-element Yagi on 15 meters on the roof of the restaurant, and the 7-element OVA monobender on the 18-meter high tower right here next to the pool. On 40 meters, the antenna we're going to install on this large 33 meters high large tower, as we call it, during the next week will be approximately a half lambda higher than the height of the HB9CV we are currently using, and which is at 21 meters here and 835 meters above sea level. The 6-element over monobender we've been using until now, and which is on the roof of the hotel, will be at the same height as the lowest antenna of our 20-meter stack, with middle antenna being half lambda higher and the top antenna a full wavelength higher than the antenna we've been using until now. And here is a detailed view of, as we call them, a small green towers. Right now we have a 10-meter stack on the right one and a 15-meter stack on the left one. This picture was taken by Peter Jennings, Victor Echo 3 Sugar United November, on a Friday afternoon before CQ Worldwide SSB 2008, when we used our X-Ray 7 as a second antenna on 20 meters and the 4-element tri-bender of LZ3 FM as a second antenna on 15 meters. And you can see the chief climber of LZ9 Whiskey, LZ1 Papa Mike, on top of a tower at 21 meters. This is the basement of the tower for our 20-meter stack, and this is the tower itself on the ground, and this is the tower which is going to carry a 4-element 40-meter monobender. And you see the moment of installation of a second tower, and police is not here to arrest anyone, but just to make sure no one's going to cross the road during the installation of it. This is a 20-meter stacked tower against the 15 meters high trees, and this is the detail of the last third of the tower. This platform here is at 20 meters, and this portion is 13 meters high, approximately 40 feet. And here's the rotator for the top antenna of the 20-meter stack. You see a panoramic view of all the towers at LZ9 Whiskey, and the distance between two large green towers is 40 meters, and the distance between small green towers is 20 meters, which allows for putting some wire antennas with the phased elements on lower bands. At the end of July 2009, we have 7-element of a monobender, rotatable on 10 meters, and a 5-element of a monobender fixed to Japan. On 15 meters, it was 6-element of a monobender, rotatable, and as a second antenna, we have LZ9W tribender, as seen on the photo just a few seconds ago, and we also have a collinear dipole. On 20 meters, it was a 6-element over monobender on the roof of the hotel and X-ray 7 plus a dipole. On HB9, we have HB9CV on 40 meters and a dipole, and we have 2-element phase inverted V's and 2 looping collinear dipoles in phase on 80 meters. And the 160 meters was really poor for us with inverted V, just 15, with the feeding point of inverted V just 15 meters up on the tree, but it was working decently, you know, because of the location we have. So during the August, 2 large screen towers have been installed by LZ1 Zulu Delta, and in the months of September and even today, a very huge, you know, antenna works have been done. And now, with the aim of putting new antennas where that we have to be able to switch antennas at least in 3 different directions in seconds in almost every band, which gives a great advantage during the contest, as you all know. So now we can say that we have 6 over 6 over 6 over 6 stack on 10 meters with top antenna rotatable. We have 7-element over monobender on the roof of the restaurant, and we have fixed 5-element monobender to Japan. So especially on 10 meters, we can switch now antennas in 4 different directions within seconds in any time of a contest. On 15 meters, we installed 6 over 6 over 6 overstack with top antenna fully rotatable. We have our 6-element monobender, which was our main antenna on the roof of the restaurant. And we have collinear dipole and LZ9W tribender as a backup antenna now. On 20, there are 6 over 6 over 6 stack with the top antenna rotatable again, 6 elements monobender on the roof of the hotel, dipole, and X-ray 7 now as a backup. We have HB9CV and a dipole on 40 meters, and hopefully, if weather permits, we will have also a 4-element over monobender installed next week and fully operational for the coming CQ Worldwide SSB contest. And on 80 meters, we have rectangular quad loop, which has almost omnidirectional pattern, as you all know, but is planned to be used mainly for VKZL in Africa. We have 2-element phased inverted V's on the roof of the hotel, which is switchable towards Japan and South America. And we have 2 looping collinear dipoles in phase, fixed towards USA and Western Europe. Inverted V now, thanks to the new towers, is with a feed point at 30 meters from the ground, and in the rain and a very, very cold weather today, guys were successful installing an inverted delta loop with its base at 65 meters high. This could be how much? Probably 200 feet up, and the apex is at 20 meters above the ground, just above the tips of the trees, and this inverted delta loop is stretched between the tower, which is holding HB9CV on 40 meters, and nearby hill. You'll see it on the photos later on. And when one has such an amount of aluminum on the backyard of the hotel, you could imagine how easily it is to get the manager of the hotel angry. And in our case, the manager of the hotel is Krasi's wife, Diane. So we are very grateful to her for being so very, very patient with us, you know, planting all that aluminum there. Well, just temporarily, of course. Here you have 10-meter stack antennas. Assemble it, tuned and ready for installation, and station it in the empty pool of the hotel. And here's the installation of a top and rotatable Yagi of the 10-meter stack. Here are 3 antennas installed, and here's the whole 6/6/6/6 stack for 10 meters with an excellent takeoff to the USA and Western Europe. And we hope this antenna is going to help us this year in a CQ Worldwide, because in last year's CQ Worldwide CW, we lost first place Europe to our friends and rivals from DF0 HQ just because they worked 17 more multipliers and 10 meters than us. So in spite of a lack of sunspots, we are really hopeful to be able to work more Europeans on 10 than we worked last year. This is the 7-element OVA also on 10 meters up on the 18-meter high tower just next to the pool, and this is the fixed 5-element OVA towers in direction of Japan. And here you see the top antenna of our 15-meter stack on the ground just before connecting the coaxial cable to it. And here are the 2 booms for 2 4-element OVA monobanders for 40 meters. And if all goes well, one of these 4-element OVA monobanders will be up and running until the end of the next week. And we plan to put down the HB9CV, which was serving us quite well for 9 years, and replace it by a second OVA monobander on a 20-meter tower. And, you know, for all the antennas to work, they usually require, you know, the magic touch of a finger of the boss. So here you see LZ1 Zulu Delta covering each joint of each antenna with a special paste. And here's myself, a dentist with the largest syringe in the world maybe, helping him out. That is the middle Yagi of the 15-meter stack here, fully assembled and just before connecting the coaxial cable to it. And after the coax cable was connected, we put up a TS850 right here on the table, attach it, connect it to the radio, and as a joke, you know, I tried to call LZ9 Alpha Yankee Alpha, and for our surprise, guys from Siberia gave us 59 plus 10 dB report with antenna just 3 feet above the ground, approximately 1 meter above the ground. So there must be something magic about 15-meter band at that place. Here you see installation of a top Yagi of a 15-meter stack. And here it is, ready to fire to South America on that picture. And here you see one of the slooping dipoles for 80, collinear dipoles for 80 meters. That is the installation of a middle Yagi, and this is a stack for 50 meters, fully installed, and with a marvelous, I should say, takeoff to USA and Western Europe, with a top antenna rotatable in any other direction, of course. This is the 6-element OVA monobender on the roof of the restaurant, also for 50 meters, which was our main antenna until end of July on 15 meters. And as I said, there must be something magic about 15 meters at LZ9 Whiskey, because since we started operating multi back in 2003, we always have been able to make a biggest number of QSOs on 15 meters compared to our rivals in a multi category from Europe. And I'm sorry, here you see the collinear dipole for 15 meters too. This is a picture of a 6-element of a monobender, which was our main antenna on 20 meters between in the period between 2003 and 2007, and it was doing a fine job. But maybe due to the lack of sunspots and lack of good propagation on 10 and 15, now many more stations are on 20 meters, and during such a big contest as WPX and CQ Worldwide, 20 meters get overcrowded in the last couple of years. It was evident from our results in 2007-2008 that 1 Yagi was not enough any longer on 20 meters, so we decided to put a stack on 20 meters as well. And here you see the booms of the three 6-element monobenders, which are now part of our 20-meter stack with elements assembled next to the pole. Due to the proximity of many trees around the tower on which 20-meter stack was to be installed, there was no possibility for the antennas to be assembled on the ground and just lifted afterwards. So we were forced to assemble antennas in the air at 33 meters height, which is approximately 100 feet, 110 feet more exactly. And here you see a man called Stokibias. His name is Stoyan in Bulgarian. And he's a right hand at the hotel of Krasi, and a man who has done enormous amount of work on antennas and everything else we needed. Together with these two guys, this is Andy, LZ1 Alpha November Alpha, our main operator on 15 meters band, and lately very active on 160 meters as well. And this is Roddy, who is not a ham radio operator himself and works for an internet provider company of Krasi. And these three guys have done enormous amount of work on antennas during the last 2 months. So here you see Stoyan Stoki installing the first director of the top Yagi of a 20-meter stack at 33 meters height at 110 feet. Here you see two of directors already assembled, and the next one's going on. This is the installation of the reflector, and here is the Yagi ready to fire. In this case, in this picture, towards South America. Installation of a second Yagi started, and here you see installation of one of directors. Here you see top and middle Yagi already installed, and here you see LZ1 Alpha November Alpha Andy installing the last element of these 18-element 6/6/6 wonder for 20 meters, and here is the beauty. Looks gorgeous and works fine. Andy testing these setup, this antenna during last week and a half told me yesterday, I've never worked so many British Columbia stations in my life as a ham radio operator. So antenna really works. That is our trusty HB9CV on 40 meters, right on the edge of the hill. And with that simple antenna, LZ4 United has made over 3,000 QSOs on 40 meters and a best multiplier from Europe among the multi stations. Together, and he was also using, here you see the dipole for 40 meters, which was our second antenna until now. And we really pray for a good weather during the next week. So the installation of a 4-element over monobender on the second large green tower to be possible, and we to be lucky to use another good antenna on 40 meters for this year's Secure Worldwide contest in sideband and especially in CW, which is our favorite mode. Since wire antennas are usually very difficult to be shown on pictures, I've made this drawing on the picture just to let you have an imagination. What are our antennas for lower bands? Here you see a phased collinear dipoles. As I said, the distance between these two towers, small green towers, is 20 meters. So we have two collinear dipoles. Each one is 120 meters long, approximately 350 feet or so, which are in phase and fixed towards USA and Western Europe. We also have a rectangular quad loop, which, as I said, has almost omnidirectional pattern and which is going to be used for VKZL in Africa here. And we also have two phased inverted V's above the roof of the hotel between a tower for 20 meters, single Yagi, and another smaller tower right here on the left. And on 160 meters, as I said, guys, we're happy to be able to finish installation of a full-size delta loop with its space. It is an inverted delta loop with its space right now at 70 meters above the ground, approximately 200, 210 feet, and the apex down just above the tips of the trees, approximately 20 meters, about 60 feet high. And it is a vertical delta loop, and they just informed me that in direction to Western Europe, this delta loop is approximately 2S units, approximately 12 dBs better than the inverted V we have here with the feeding point on 30 meters. Here you see the inverted V's, phased inverted V's on 80 meters, which we use for Japan and South America. And here is the drawing of the collinear dipoles we are using in phase for USA and Western Europe. So the antenna is 120 meters long, as I said. And here is the drawing of the antenna. The gain, which is claimed by the developer, LZ5RX, of 5.7 dBd, so 5.7 dB over the dipole, in my humble opinion, is a little bit exaggerated. But it's a fact that with two such antennas in phase, we were putting a very decent, very good signal on west coast of USA, which is a very difficult thing to be done from most southeastern part of Europe on 80 meters. And here you see the sloping collinear dipoles at sunset. That is our inverted V for 160 meters. Here on the picture, just 20 meters high at the level of the platform of a 33.5 meters high tower. And this is the position of the inverted V before that, just 15, 16 meters high on the top of a tree. And when we were having our inverted V on the tree, we never been able to hear or work any West Coast USA station. While just putting the feeding point another 5 or 6 meters higher, you know, made possible for Andy, LZ1 Alpha November Alpha, to work almost daily N7UA and few more stations from the West Coast on 160. So if someone is telling you that 5 meters difference of antenna height does not matter if compared to the wavelength on 160 meters, do not believe him. The higher the antenna, the better, even if we speak about just 5 or 6 or 7 meters difference. And that is my favorite picture ever taken of LZ9 Whiskey QTH. It was made by LZ3 Fox Mike. I don't know how he has made it without being up on the chopper or on a plane, but it's really showing all the features of the QTH with all the antennas. You can see a foreground slope down towards USA and Western Europe. You see the stacks for 15 and for 10 meters right on the edge here. You see a separate single Yagis for 20 and 15 and 10 meters. You see the stack on 20, and we really hope we will have this 4-element over monobender installed here next week on a second large green tower. And on this picture you can see the Philistron rope, which is 500 meters long, approximately 1,500 feet, and which is stretched between the tower for 40 meters HB9CV and goes away to the next hill. So the delta loop, a full-size inverted delta loop for 160 meters, is approximately 60 meters away from the tower here and hanging between two hills, so to speak, here. This gate is 70 meters to 100 feet, and the apex is going down to about 20 meters above ground. I would like to express our thanks for help with evaluation of towers placement and antennas performance to Jim, AA3FET, to Dean for calculations of the gain of our new stacks, and to LZ4 Alpha X-ray, of course, to Alex. And here are some diagrams sent to me and calculated by Dean and 6BV with the help of HFTA. So what you see is this light blue line here shows you a gain of the 20-meter single 6-element Yagi on the roof of the hotel, which was our main antenna until recently, until the end of September. And the green line shows the gain of the top Yagi of our 20-meter stack. So in some at some angles, and some takeoff angles between 2 and 6 degrees, for example, due to the features of our QTH, you see that the current Yagi at 21 meters on the roof is even better than the top Yagi of the stack. But the blue line here shows you that when we have all three antennas together, they are giving us better results than the single Yagi we have on the roof, especially at the takeoff angles between 6 and 10 degrees and between 11 and 30 degrees, and right here at 16, 17 degrees. That's the situation on 50 meters in California direction. And the light blue line here shows the 15 meters single Yagi we have on the roof of the restaurant here, and which was our main antenna until recently. And here you see the gain we have right now with the stacks in California direction, and you can see the difference here, especially at very low angles between 1 and 6 degrees. And here it is not LZ9 Alpha, it is LZ9 Whiskey. LZ9 Alpha was a very famous call approximately 10-15 years ago, and it was a call sign of the guys at LZ2 KTS who were famous at that time in a multi-single category from Europe. So calculations are still for LZ9 Whiskey, and the light blue line gives you a gain of the 7-element OVA we have next to the pool, an 18 meters high tower, 20 meters high tower. And you see the gain compared to the stack on 10 meters. Not very much difference, especially to California in California direction, but there will be a difference you'll see for east coast of USA. And now if we only have those sunspots back to be able to work stateside on 10HI. Here you see the diagram showing you the gain towards east coast of USA, which is very important for us here in Europe. And what you see is that if we use a 6-element top antenna of a 20-meter stack, it has significant gain below the low angles between 1 and 7 degrees. But using just lower Aggies, middle and low Aggie of the stack, gives us even better gain. And what is more important, I should say, is the fact that according to the calculations, the gain of when we use just 2 fixed antennas, because lowest and middle, lower and middle Yagi are fixed towards USA and Western Europe, and the gain we have with 2 antennas is absolutely, I should say, equal to what we will have with all 3 antennas as a stack, which gives us the advantage to use just 2 antennas fixed to USA, pointed to USA and Western Europe, and having the highest antenna in some other direction. Thus, having the possibility to switch antennas within the seconds in 3 different directions on 20 meters during a whole contest. On 15 meters, due to the features of our location, as is seen on the diagram, the middle antenna of the stack on 15 meters has, at very low angles, between 1 and 6 degrees, has almost equal gain as 2 antennas in stack or 3 antennas in stack. And again, you see that using just 2 fixed antennas at 7.5 and 14.5 meters high is equal to using all 3 antennas. So we again have the possibility to turn the top rotatable antenna of the stack in some other direction, different from USA and Western Europe, and having the chance to switch antennas in 3 different directions on 15 meters in any moment during the contest. And here's what we could expect when sunspots are back towards east coast direction on 10 meters. What I like really very much are Dean's calculations for our 40 meters antennas. Light blue line shows you the gain compare of our current HB9CV antenna, main antenna on 40 meters, compared to a 4-element Yagi at 32 meters on flat ground, the red line. So due to the advantages our location is giving us, you see the difference at very low angles between 1 and 8 degrees, which we still have with just 2-element antenna compared to the 4-element antenna over flat ground. And this Yagi really works well on 40 meters for us. After installation next week, hopefully, of a 4-element over monobender on a large green tower at 32 meters, we will have even higher gain at very low angles on 40 meters towards east coast of US. And what is again interesting is that after we change this HB9CV with a 4-element monobender, another 4-element monobender on the tower of HB9CV, we will have a second antenna on 40 meters with even higher gain here at very low angles. And this is my favorite, most favorite diagram, I should say, because here you see the red line giving you the gain of a 3-element monobender at 30 meters over flat ground, and here you see the gain of our future 4-element over monobender at 32 meters in direction of Japan. And here are the rigs and amplifiers of LZ9 Whiskey as of October 2009. As you see, we have two, we're having the transceivers from three main manufacturers of such equipment, from Kenwood, from Yaesu, and from ICOM. We have two 950s, which are used on 80 meters. We have three pieces of 850s, two of them used on 160 meters. We have DS940, we have 1000 MP and 1000 MK5 field from Yaesu, and we have an ICOM 775 DSP. The radio I really love, and I'm really sorry it is designated to 20 meters operating position instead of 160, but I'm doing fine with my trusty 850 on top band, and we also have a 746 5 pieces of these radios as the partner radios. As amplifiers, we have an ACOM 2000A, one Alpha 91 Beta, two TL922s, and we have a homemade 40 meter amp on pair of GU81s, which we call Chopper. And we also have 5 homemade monoband amplifiers on each one on pair of GU74B, which is 4CX800, giving us the same power output as, for example, Alpha 91 Beta on 160, 80, 20, 15, and 10 meter bands. Filtering is done with 6 factory-made ICE monoband BPFs, and we have also 6 pieces of W3NQN monoband filters, which were made by the members of LZ9 Whiskey. And after reading a lot about Russian-made filters by Remo Ltd. Saratov, Russia, we have ordered it, and we have BPF6 luxury set of 6 monoband 200 watts BPFs and 5 high power BPFs for 160, 80, 40, 20, and 50 meter band that are now traveling to Bulgaria, and we really hope they will reach LZ9 Whiskey QTH before the start of CQ Worldwide SSB part. But if they don't reach us by that time, by end of next week, we will be able to test these ones on during the CQ Worldwide CW in November. And if all I have read about these filters is really true, we are really hopeful that interfering problems within operating positions will be significantly reduced at LZ9 Whiskey, because now we have sometimes problems. As you see the pictures, antennas are not very far from each one, and sometimes we're having some interference from 40 meters operating and 80 meters operating positions to other bands. Additional devices are stack switching devices made by LZ3UM and LZ2 Tango United. Antennas rotating and interlock devices are made by LZ2 Good Luck and LZ2 GL George. And there are some receiving enhancement devices for low bands which are under construction and which are made by LZ2 Whiskey Oscar and should be ready by the end of 2009. And now let's see faces behind the call signs. This is Krasy Pavlov, the owner of the hotel and the owner of the LZ9 Whiskey multi contest station. The man who has in the last 9 years invested a lot of money in the station and ensured that probably in 2010 it will really become one of the best multi stations in Europe. This is the oldest member of our contest team, Danko, LZ1 Foxtrot Golf. He's 59 years old, and he's mainly a single sideband operator and taking the daily shifts on 40 and 20 meters in the contest. And this is Ilya, the youngest member of a contest team. He's only 25 years old, and he's an outstanding, I should say, in my humble opinion, outstanding CW contest operator. And in 2006, he was given the, a chance to fulfill the dream of his life, so to speak, since during the renovation of the hotel, which was made during the 2006 and part of 2007, it was not possible to operate as a multi-multi. So we gave him a chance to operate with antennas and equipment at LZ9 Whiskey as a single pole bands. And Ilya placed second after Charlie United 2 X-ray. But the Azores are not, so to speak, an offshore part of Europe. So Ilya has done really very well. And I should say he's one of the best operators on CW in contests from Europe. And I would even place him among the top 10 world CW contest operators. He's a nice guy, and our secret weapon on 40 meters. Last year I had a question from Lothar from the F0 HQ, and he was asking me, you have only HB9CV and a dipole on 40 meters, and you have made over 3,000 contacts on 40 meters. How is that possible? And I wrote to him, I said, we have a secret weapon, and on the question, what's it? I said, it's called Ilya, LZ4 United. I'm trying to joke him, but Ilya is really an outstanding CW operator. So this is Ivan, LZ1 Papa Mike, our main operator on 80 meters. His favorite mode, of course, is for all contest team members at LZ9 Whiskey CW. And Ivan also is, as I said, chief climber at LZ9 Whiskey, and also a person responsible for all the QSLing at LZ9 Whiskey. Here is the place. I should mention that we do not collect QSL cards, so please do not send QSL cards to us. If you need a QSL card, just drop Ivan an email with a request for QSL at LZ1 Papa Mike, yahoo.com, and he will send you a card via the bureau. And he's also responsible for the confirmation of all the direct cards which are received at the post office box of LZ9 Whiskey. And that is Ogi, LZ2 Papa Oscar, the chief operator on 20 meters. Ogi is an excellent CW and SSB operator, and also, if not the best, one of the best winemakers in Bulgaria. And if you visit us, you could be able to taste his wines at the restaurant of Hotel Bertadot. And that's me, the presenter of this webinar, LZ2CJ. This is Danny, LZ2 United, a very good CW and very good SSB operator. And Danny was operating from LZ0 Alpha, Livingston Island, which is Victor Papa 8, where Bulgarian Antarctic Station is located there in Antarctica. And he was operating LZ0 Alpha for many years in the past. These are our operators on 15 meters, LZ1 Alpha, November Alpha Andy, and Asen, LZ3 United Mike, here on the picture together with Kazusan, JK3 Golf Alpha Delta, who was part of our team in, as I said, in WPX-CW 2009. And Kazusan, I must mention, is an outstanding CW operator. Here on the left is Plumman, LZ3 Fox Mike, and Danny again. And this is my partner on 160 meters, LZ2 United Zulu Christo, just checking out how Peter is doing on 20 meters during the CQ Worldwide SSB 2008. Peter was one of the operators on 20 meters then. This is LZ1 United Queen Mitko, who operates on 40 and 10 meters at LZ9 Whiskey, and who was operating LZ90 Alpha during year 2007, and who made quite a number of USA operators happy, giving them a new one on 160 meters from Victor Papa 8. And this is Tsetso, LZ2 Fox Victor. Because of the fact he usually operates at LZ9 Whiskey during the night, I was not able to find a QSO documenting him operating 9 Whiskey, but I have a QSO with him operating as a part of our team Yankee Mike 3 Lima Zulu during the Working All Europe SSB in year 2000, when we, together with Tango Alpha 3 Juliet, Tango Alpha 3 YJ, and Tango Alpha 3 Delta, have taken first place Asia in this Working All Europe contest. And this is not the favorite position for operating the station Tsetso prefers, but this is because during the night when we were moving the equipment inside the house, you know, he has broken one of his phalanges here, and he decided to finish the contest before seeing the doctor. So I told him to keep his food as high as possible to reduce the edema here. So he was a brave guy, finished the contest, and then we go into town in the city of Izmir, and we saw the doctor. Fortunately, the fragments of the fracture were not displaced, so everything went fine for Tsetso at that time. And he is also a very good technician, a very good engineer, helping a lot, you know, from that point, from technical point, LZ9 Whiskey multi team. And here, most of the guys in USA probably have seen on pictures or have at least worked Alex, LZ4 Alpha X-Ray, who since 2001 moved to the USA and operates on a regular basis as a single pole bands from K3 Charlie Radio and Seeker Worldwide and KC3 Radio in WPX contests. Alex is not able to come to operate with us, but as I said, he helps us a lot, so we still consider him being a member of our team. And that is Stan, LZ5 Fox, who's also very helpful. He lives in Italy and comes from time to time operating the station. This is Valentin, LZ2 Whiskey Oscar, here shown operating 40 meters during the day. And he's a man responsible, so to speak, for building up RX filtering devices and other gadgets, which we hope will enhance our low bands reception. The main problem for us is reception on all bands at the QTH, especially on single sideband, because it is not an advantage to be in most southeastern part of Europe, so to speak, another 2,000 kilometers away from the USA compared to guys in Germany or in England or in Holland or Belgium, where our main rivals in a multi category from Europe are located. Here is LZ2GL. George, he's not a contest operator himself, but is the guy who has built up all these magic boxes, which are doing almost everything, I would say, turning antennas, switching radios, switching amplifiers, and so on. This is Amigo Show, as we call him, LZ1 Zulu Fox, because he's very fluent in French, operating here on 40 meters. And here's Vesco, LZ5 Vector Kilo, looking after an X multiplier here on 15 meters. This is Nick, LZ2 Delta Zulu, the brother of LZ2UZ. He's not a contest operator himself, but he's one of the best welders in the country, and he has done enormous work on LZ9 Whiskey Towers before they've been erected. And as far as I'm informed, he's now working somewhere in Norway. And he used to be a welder at the biggest, how you call it, factory for building ships in Varna in the past. And that is the future of LZ9 whiskey. This is the QRP of Vesco LZ5 Victor Kilo. I should say the most youngest part of LZ9 whiskey team. Now about the scores. There was a time 15 or 20 years ago when there were plenty of enormous number of JEA stations active during the contests before the internet era, so to speak, when we were able to work between 800 and over 1,000 JEAs on 15 meters, on 15 and 10 meters in a 48 hours contest, and this is no longer possible, which makes SSB mode not very competitive one for us at LZ9 whiskey, being located in most eastern part of Europe, because the scores now are greatly dependent on how many USA stations we can work in the contest, and especially on 80 and 160 meters, whatever antennas we have, we cannot compete with our friends and rivals at Delta Radio 1 Alpha or Oscar Tango 5 Alpha or DF0HQ, because we could not make so many QSOs with the stateside, especially on 80 and 160, and especially 160 meters. Anyway, we have some good results on SSB2, as seen here in WPX 2005. Our favorite mode of LZ9 whiskey is CW, and on 160 and 80 meters, we could compensate the distance difference between us and our rivals located in the most western part of Europe, so to speak, due to the skills we have on CW, I should say. And on CW we have quite a good achievements with first place Europe in WPX, and since 2004, as is seen from the scores listed here, we just changed first and second place in CQ Worldwide CW with the guys at DF0HQ. One time they've been first in 2004, we've been number one in 2005, 2007, and the greatest achievements we really are proud of is first Europe, third world score here in 2007, and of course the first Europe, first world in WPX-CW. We tried in 2008 a new emerging contest mode, RTTY. Stations operating in contests, in RTTY contests, are constantly increasing as a number, so we tried a multi-multi. It was kind of a semi-serious operation, but anyway, we took number 2 Europe in multi-multi in CQ Worldwide RTTY 2008, and we've been discussing this with the guys, and since digital mode RTTY is competitive from our location, in spite of being in most eastern part of southeastern part of Europe, there are some plans to increase our RTTY activity in WPX and CQ Worldwide RTTY contests in the future. And here are some of the guests we have met and who visited LZ9 whiskey. By coincidence, the first North American ham we have who has visited LZ9 whiskey was Dave, K1 Zulu Zulu, as you all know there in the States, CEO and Executive Vice President of ARRL. David been here to take part in the Aero Region 1 conference and asked to visit LZ9 Whiskey, and we were more than happy, to show him the station. I didn't, this is, I hope you will excuse me for the poor quality of that photo, but during the Dave's visit at LZ9 Whiskey, we were not taking any pictures ourselves, so this is the only photo I was able to find online. And this is K4VX, Lou, my Elmer in contesting. I get acquainted with Lou back in 1978 when I was in my first year at a dental school, and when I was operating LZ1 Kilo Delta Papa City Students Radio Club in Sofia back in 1978. And Lou has, taught me a lot of things about contesting during these years. Of course, it was a socialist years, socialism years in Bulgaria then, so we were able to talk only via the radio and exchanging letters. After times have changed, we started exchanging emails afterwards. And after 29 years of talking to each other over the radio and by emails and letters, we were very happy, both of us, to have an eyeball to see each other in September 2007 when Lou and Terry, his wife, visited Bulgaria for a short visit, just a couple of days as a part of their Europe tour. And of course, Lou was very happy to see LZ9 Whiskey. And here you see him talking to K3 Whiskey on 20 meters and just telling him, believe it or not, but this is the only amplifier they have here. Just that small box over there. And that is Ramon, X-ray Echo 1 Kilo, and this is not the correct date shown here on the photo, because in February it is the middle of a winter here in Bulgaria, and you cannot go with just a t-shirt in the middle of the winter in Bulgaria, where you usually have, at least at LZ9 Whiskey QTH, we usually have 40-50 centimeters, about approximately 2 feet of snow. Here is the Peter Jennings, Victor Echo 3 Sugar United November, and his other call sign is Charlie 31 Lima Juliet. He's a paragliding enthusiast, and there was a meeting of paragliding enthusiasts in Bulgaria, which coincided with the CQ Worldwide SSB contest in October 2008. So he asked, and we happily included him as a part of our team. He's a very good SSB operator and enjoyed operating large antennas at LZ9 Whiskey. And we hope he has had a great time with us. And the other guest, a honorable guest we had, is JK3 Golf Alpha Delta, Kazo-san. He was part of our team, as I said, in WPX-CW this summer. Kazo-san is an outstanding and excellent CW operator, and he has operated numerous times from as a part of the our rivals in multi category in Europe, Oscar Tango 5 Alpha and Delta Radio 1 Alpha. So he wanted to see how it is like from LZ9 Whiskey, so we were happy to have him with us, and he has done very, very well on as our main 15 meters operator during the WPX-CW this summer. And that is Alex, Sugar Queen 9 United Mike, who is a young guy, a member of Worldwide Young E-Contesters organization. And here you see him enjoying a pileup of Polish stations on 10 meters. in August when he spent approximately 3 days, I think 3 days at LZ9 Whiskey, and using all these big antennas and being happy operating a station. And there are some plans now that LZ9 Whiskey, that the hotel could be a venue for a worldwide meeting of worldwide young contesters in next year if they arrange for having a meeting in the summer of 2010. We also have visitors from Russia, Serbia, Hungary, and Italy, which I do not have photos of. So thank you for your attention, and please call us in next contest. So I'll change right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can. Why don't you keep the presentation, and I guess keep the presentation roll for the moment. I guess you're ready for some questions? Okay.
Is there any?
Yep. Okay. So we'll go ahead and open it up for questions for Wally. As I mentioned earlier, you can type in the questions pane in the control panel, or if you got a microphone connected and you want to speak to him directly, you can do so by raising your hand. I'll unmute you, and then you can go. So go ahead and fire in some questions, everyone. Dean N6BV points out a busted call on one of his, I guess some of the data he sent you. He says, excuse me for the typographic error on Lima Zulu 9 Alpha instead of LZ9 Whiskey on 10 meters. I didn't catch that, but anyways, Dean passes that along. Okay, question about the towers. Who makes the towers, Wally?
The towers are made by the company which business is to make the towers. So they're, so to speak, more or less commercially made.
Okay, very good. And don't be shy, people. Go ahead and...
what I would like to say is that all towers are stainless steel. They're very, you see, they're self-standing and very robust, very, very heavy ones.
Okay, very good. Feel free to send in some questions. And another one, wondering about QRM from the town, the village, I guess at the bottom of the hill. Do you have any sort of noise problems from the town?
From Breznik itself, it's a small town, so I could hardly say that that we have any noise problems due to Breznik's inhabitants. But unfortunately, especially on 160, when we have to listen to the JA, you know, this direction is very noisy because it coincides with the noise which is coming from Sofia, from the capital, and we usually have problems, you know, with copying the JAs on 160 and sometimes on 80 meters too. But this is mainly on a single sideband. It's much easier to copy the stations on CW, which is the contest mode we prefer, and we go for blot in. You know, we usually operate a single sideband just to not to taste, but to test some new gadgets or some new, you know, just for fun, so to speak. Not very seriously in single sideband contests because we cannot compete on 80 and 160 meters. With the guys, with our friends and rivals who are located another 2,000 kilometers closer to USA.
Okay, very good. Scott has a good question here. He says, hi Wally, great presentation. Do the hotel guests ever ask about the antennas or complain about interference, RFI?
Believe it or not, there is not too much RFI. If we speak about the internet access, it's okay, not affected by our transmissions. In the past, we had some problems with the, you know, the group which was, you know, using some audio amplifiers in the restaurant, but Crossy has both a very good new equipment, so now we don't have any problems like that. And well, it's a little bit different in Bulgaria, I would say, compared to the stateside. So it's hard to have any complaints from the guests of the hotel, because most of them coming here know in advance. You know, it is stated on the website of the hotel that it also has some ham radio antennas. So before they are coming, you know, they know there are antennas out there. So fortunately, we do not have problems of that sort.
Okay, very good. Another question. It looks like some of the towers are placed a good distance from the shack. How long, or what are the longest feed lines?
Well, that's a difficult question for a dentist, you know.
Or approximately.
I don't know. Crossy probably is could, but the distance between. I hope they are still seeing the picture, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. These towers of the stacks are just 30 meters away here from the shack, which is approximately how many? 90 feet or something like that.
Right. Uh-huh.
There are no long cables for the Yagis next to the pool. This one, which is on the restaurant roof and on the hotel's roof, 40 meters antenna is very close here. It is just maybe I don't know, probably 30 meters, around 90 feet from the hotel too. So only these two large towers are a little bit you know, bigger distance from the hotel, but it is not more than well, I'm not sure. Maybe 150 meters, which is how much? 300 feet, right?
Yeah, 300. Okay, so that's not too bad then.
So all the what everybody wonders when he's visiting the station, that we have these all antennas very close to each other, and we still manage to have no significant interference, which is also another magic thing about that place. I don't know how it's working, but we really do not have so significant interference. And we see some interference only, for example, when we have HB9CV, you know, pointed towards east. We have some interference coming out on 20 meters. And sometimes, depending on the weather conditions, we have some interference from the 80 meters antennas on 20 meters operation position. And with these Russian filters, we've been told miracles about them, and they say reduction from the low power filters will be around 80 decibels, and another 70 or 80 decibels from high power filters. So we're hopeful that we could reduce the interference by some impressive 160 dBs, we hope, after putting you know, those filters in action. So we'll see, and I'll take care to inform you about the results about it.
Sure.
But,
okay.
The good thing is that not too much interaction between the antennas, even they are so close each to the other.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it's hard in an environment like that with so much RF flying around not to have some level of interference. Okay, Scott Wright has a follow-up question. Can U.S. guests stay at the hotel and use this station outside of contests? Is it easier?
Anytime.
Okay, is it easier or
Anytime.
difficult to get a license?
No. Well, for Americans, the Bulgarian law is very relaxed on that. You don't need any special license if you come to Bulgaria. You just come in, get inside, and start operating the station, signing LZ9W something. You don't need any special permissions for that.
Okay, I see Crassy has his hand raised, so I'm going to unmute the microphone. Crassy, go ahead.
Actually, it's Nick, LZ9W.
Oh, hi, Nick.
And hi. And we were here with Krasi sitting next to each other, and LZ2 HQ is behind us. And we are at the shack of LZ9 Whiskey. Krasi wanted to emphasize on the length of the cable. So most of the towers are connected with the Andrew hardline, and it's a three-way 3/8 hardline going to each one of the tower. The longest cable actually is about 200 meters, which is about roughly about 600 something feet. And they're all going underground. So they're in the pipes, PVC pipes, and they're connected. So at any time you can replace very easily any kind of a cable using the old one to pull the new one. So so those cables are not visible. They're as far as you see, all the towers are painted green in order to keep kind of environment-friendly view, except the antennas, which are made out of aluminum, and they're not painted. But so the towers are green and so on, and they're cable connected continuously. Also operational cables. You have all kind of DC voltage supply and also AC voltage supply to each one of the towers. And that was just the side information from the shack of LZ9 Whiskey at the moment.
Okay, Nick, very good. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'll put his mic back on mute. Okay, any other questions? Fire away. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. It's 2:30 a.m. for Wally and his team. I didn't mention, I'm not sure if you did, Wally, that some of the team is actually at the LZ9 Whiskey Station, joining us morning for them. So I don't see any other questions here, Wally. If you have any other remarks, go ahead. Otherwise, why don't you send the presentation back to me and we'll finish.
Well, no remarks from here. Just would like to thank for attention to everyone who was listening to me. Well, it should be afternoon for those in USA and early morning for those in Europe. And it's been my pleasure presenting this webinar. Very nice experience for me. Thank you so much.
Okay, very good. And you can go ahead and change the presenter role back to me, and I'll wrap this up then.
Okay.
There we go. And we're going to do this. Okay, once again, thank you very much, Wally, for taking the time to show us the station. You guys have been doing a lot of hard work out there, and also to the entire Lima Zulu 9 Whiskey team. Looking forward to hearing you probably, at least from the east coast of the U.S., on 5 of the 6 bands, I hope. I think 10 meters may be a lost cause, but we'll still listen nevertheless. But appreciate you taking the time to share all of this with us, and I know it's very early in the morning for you. For those people on the session here, it has been recorded, and we will get it up on the PVRC webpage. I understand our webinar webmaster is ill at the moment, so I don't know how soon we will get it up there, but it will be posted, and please pass the word to others that might be interested. One other event for the month of October, and it's a great one, with Carl, K9 LA, on October 20th. It's actually October 21st at 0100 UTC on propagation prediction programs, and maybe he can take a question or two about predictions for CQ worldwide phone, what we might see. Anyways, you can go to www.pvrc.org to register for that, and also that's where the recorded events will be posted, and click on the webinar link. So once again, thank you, Wally. Thank you to the LZ9W team, and we'll see you guys next weekend, and also to all our attendees, thanks for joining us. And those of you that will be participating next weekend in Worldwide Phone, good luck. We'll see you on the bands. 73s, take care, everyone. So long.